feel like it's been a while since I've brought this up, and it does bear saying as often as possible in the hope that there is somebody from the Coca-Cola Corporation watching. This is a really good beverage, Coke Zero. As I've said before, and I'll continue to say, very much open to sponsorship with you lot. Otherwise, the alternative is I'll keep paying for your drinks and then talking about them. Yeah, I need to get a new agent. Hello and welcome to part 5 of Not League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Boston and then away against Stockport, both in the Conference North. Since you were last with me, we're struggling a little bit. I mean, not massively. We're just, rather than this beautifully consistent sea of green dots that we had earlier on in the season, we're now getting a little bit hit and miss. As you can see, we've had some really good results. Beating Sutton Coldfield 6-3 in the FA Trophy third qualifying round was ace. Losing 5-3 to Nuneaton after extra time, not so good. Also, the 3-0 defeat by Blythe was a bit of a problem, but we did beat Bradford Park Avenue. So we're very much random form at the moment. But it seems that's the theme of the Conference North this season, because despite our form taking a little bit of a nosedive, we're still only 2 points off the top of the league. And there's actually 4 teams at the top of the league, all level on points on 38. Then Telford, 1 point behind. Then us a point behind. FC United a point behind. I mean, it is mad that the first 9 places in this division are only separated by 5 points. So any team, us included, could just go on a run of 4 or 5 wins in a row and they're going to be top of the league. So although it's not a disaster, it seems like it's just the nature of when you're playing with the quality of players that we've got, I guess. You're at the mercy of how their day, doing whatever they do as their day job went. Presumably. So, this is the team that we're putting out there today for the first game against Boston. As you can see, we have a new signing on the left wing. James Thorne is a 21-year-old left winger on loan from Hartlepool. He's a 4-star current ability, 5-star potential ability left winger who can also play up front as a target man. So, he's going to be doing double duty for us. He'll primarily play on the left side of midfield, but when needed, i.e. when Hurst's not available, he'll go up alongside Westcar as a target man for us as well. He's only played 1 game so far, so let's not judge him just yet. But this is the rest of the team. We've got Wheeler in goal, a back 4 of Owens, Williams, Blumberg and Wood, with Marshall, Platt, Disley and Thorne in midfield, and Hurst and Westcar up front. Craig Westcar is still having the season of his career. He's now scored as many goals this season as he ever has in a season previously. His previous best, admittedly, was in League One for Walsall, 14 goals in 43 starts, or 43 appearances. For us, he's on 14 goals from 21. I hope that doesn't mean he just stopped scoring at this point, because he's got his 14 goals and that's all he's really after. But he's having a cracking season. Yes, we're a one-man team. When he plays well, we win. When he doesn't, we lose. Actually, it's not even true. He got a hat-trick against Nuneaton and we still lost 5-3, which was disgusting. And does confirm what I've been saying all along in both series that we've got running at the moment. The quality of players available to me at Nuneaton is better than the quality of players available to me here at Alfreton. I'm struggling a little bit more there to get a good combination of those players. Whereas in this Alfreton team, we can play well and get results and grind them out when we need to. Interestingly, the AI had Nuneaton playing a 4-5-1 with Jordan Nicholson at left back, which is an interesting take on things. Not one that I'm going to be looking to pursue in my alternate universe. We're already 1-0 down in this game. And I remember being at Boston 2 years ago when we did the first ever non-league to legend. And Jay Rollins never really got a proper look in, but I remember him being around the club as like a backup player on either wing, if I recall. And all the games I've played against them this year, with both Alfreton and Nuneaton, he's just tearing us apart. He's like an assist machine. I wonder. I mean, we can't afford to bring him in. That's the big issue. We're still over our wage budget. We could do with moving a few players on, but obviously when you're Alfreton, you're kind of already at the bottom of the barrel. No one's really making offers for our players, so we're waiting for contracts to expire, and we're 2-0 down now. And we're just not showing any oomph going forward. We've got as far as we have this year very much on kick the ball a long way and let Craig Westcar chase it. I do wonder if A, teams are starting to work that out and just mark him, which is, I mean, that's the obvious thing to do, mark Westcar and we're done. Or is it just getting to the point where he's 32, 33 years old, he's played 25 consecutive games at this point in all competitions, he's probably just tired. And because of that, we don't really have another option. And we're getting a bit weaker defensively. That's why I'm trying Blumberg at the moment. Blumberg's had a couple of games in a row now in for Laird, they're the two loanees we've got at centre-back. And I don't know, we are struggling. I've been tempted to go and try and sign a right-back on loan and get Bradley Wood up into the midfield, because we don't really have anyone other than Wood who can play at right-back for us. But midfield is one of those areas where we have got a lot of strength in depth, and we have tried a lot of different options at midfield. I know we're back with the same old Platt and Disley there today, and it's clearly not working. But we had 4 or 5 games in a row where we played Jones and Yao together. We played various combinations of the 4 of them as well. And I think we're just struggling with the fact that our players aren't as good as everyone else's. We can move them around in all sorts of nice little combinations, but we're just not as good as the other teams are. And that's shown when stuff like this happens and we're just getting absolutely thumped by Boston, who I don't think Boston are doing particularly well this season. If we have a look at the league table when we get there, I think they're probably in the bottom half of it. I could be wrong, but we're just playing really poorly. Right, we'll take off Platt, bring on Jones. Marshall's not having a good game, but we don't have anyone to come on for him. I guess Daniels can come on for him, actually. Thorne also not having a very good game. Right, let's try something different. Let's try this. I mean, there's not a huge amount of logic to what we're trying here. We're just trying to try something a bit different. Craig, what do you want to be? You obviously get to choose. You can be an attack then. And, I mean, we'll try that. We're not going to... We can't lose worse than losing. I don't care about goal difference, so we might as well lose 5-0 and give ourselves a chance to bring it back to 3-3 by trying something a little bit different, or at least give us an option to try in another game. But I don't see the point in moving Westcar out onto the wing. He's pretty much our only source of goals. Why play him out wide? And there you go. Rollins just... he's punishing me for past sins in previous versions of this universe, not giving him the opportunities he wanted or deserved. We're out of the playoffs at the moment. I know we're only at the halfway point of the season, but we look really, really poor all of a sudden. And it's kind of taken us by surprise, and I haven't changed anything. And that's the really worrying thing. I haven't changed anything, so I don't really know what's gone wrong, what's caused us to go from winning 8 straight games to losing 4-0 at home to Boston, who were 19th in the league before the start of play. How does that just happen? Right, we're kind of just rolling the dice at this point, seeing what combinations might come off. So Laird comes in for Williams at the back. We've brought Yao in for Disley in midfield. And I've switched to counter-attacking rather than standard. Is that what it is? Yeah, standard. Oh, my brain's stopped working. So, I mean, I don't see that any of those changes are significant enough to turn us around from that pitiful performance we had just 3 days ago, losing 4-0 at home to Boston. We're now got a back-to-back Christmas double-header thing against Stockport, the way they do at this level. I don't really see that Stockport's particularly close to Alfreton. I guess it might be. Perhaps there's no other teams particularly close to Alfreton at all, because certainly there's lots of teams closer to Stockport than Alfreton are, but they may well all be playing each other. So we've got a double header against Stockport. They're 4th in the league, and if we go to them playing the same way we played against Boston, we're going to get absolutely torn apart. And 2 minutes in, we've given away a penalty. This is going to be one of those episodes that might accidentally not make it onto YouTube, because I don't want you to see when things like this happen. I guess this is just going to be This is going to be one of those episodes we look back on, and I want you all to remind me of this episode. Mark it put it in your bookmarks. Email it to yourself. Remind yourself that this episode exists, because in 6 months' time, when we're in the Champions League final, managing a really major club somewhere in Europe, and we're in our first Champions League final. Oh, I hope it doesn't take 6 months, but you get what I mean. I want you to send me this video and remind me how far we've come, because I'm over the wage budget, can't afford to bring anyone in, don't have any quality to try different combinations, and don't really have any ideas for what I'd do if I had either of those things. And we're just getting thumped over and over and over again. It all looked so good yesterday. And now, I mean, we've only lost a couple of games in a row. It could just be a little blip, one of those things. Yeah, we gave away an early penalty, but other than that, it's been a fairly even match. We've certainly had a lot more of the ball. We've not had a shot on target yet. That was bizarre. Is that Wood? With what must have been a cross from way out wide. And it all, I mean, that's just the sort of thing that can turn things around. And how big is Stockport's ground, by the way? It's like we're playing in a Premier League ground. I know there used to be like a football club at like Posh's level. We played them regularly. Oh, Marshall's equalised. But they shouldn't have this enormous all-seater ground with corners filled in and multiple tiers. This is insane. But it's 1-1, which is good. So it was Yao to Platt to Thorne. Look at this. To Hurst. Back to Thorne or Platt. I forget what. I mean, that was just nice passing. Wasn't the counter-attacking we set out to do, but it was still nice. Remind me to turn that off sometime in the second half if we're not winning. Right, Westcar. Let's see if he can produce a bit of magic for us today. He squares the ball to Hurst, who's just being a target man, slowing things down a bit. Back to Wood. Marshall, yeah, we're knocking the ball around while we let Hurst get back into position, but it's actually Westcar who gets there. His header hits the post, and we do look a lot more lively in this game than we did in the last one, and we haven't really changed very much, which is why I get so confused. I mean, I did say at this level you are kind of at the whim of more random turns of event than you are at higher levels, I think. Oh, no, it's 2-1. Stop making excuses, Kev. You're rubbish. Oh no, it's a mood swing episode. We've managed to avoid these so far this year. But this is sad. It's just very sad. Ay. 2-1 down after 25 minutes. But we have shown signs of life in this game. And we're going to grab an equaliser here. It's Marshall with the corner. And Platt just over, I think. It looked like it might have even grazed the crossbar, but I don't think it necessarily did. And we try to build again, but in fact it falls to Stockport and it's them who are building, but Marshall intercepts. Blumberg lumps it up to Hurst. Westcar gets there. Hurst is then fouled, surely. Apparently not. I don't really get why this warrants a highlight so far if nothing's going to happen. Hopefully it doesn't mean that Stockport are now going to come up the other end and score after blatantly fouling Hurst when he was through on goal. Yes, him being through on goal there doesn't mean you're going to score a goal because he's miles away and he's slow. And they hit the post. Would have been nice for it to be marked as a foul though, at least. Ideas on a postcard. Alternatively, the comments would be fine too. I mean, if you really want to send me a postcard, my PO box address is in the description, but you're probably better off using the comments. Hurst crosses. It was a weird cross, but Westcar does get there. Thorne now crosses to Hurst, and there's your equaliser. Thorne crosses to Hurst. Our two target men combining, and we're back up into the playoffs again as things stand. I mean, it's halfway point of the season. It's a bit early to be worrying about that. It was a weird cross from Hurst, but Westcar did well to make something of it, and then Hurst gets rewarded despite him starting the weirdness off, and he gives himself a little clap at the end there. Let's all clap Ben Hurst, because it was a nice header. That's what he's there to do, and he does it quite regularly. We give Westcar all the plaudits, but Hurst, as a target man on support, who's primarily there to link up the play, get the wingers involved, slow things down, he's weighed in with his fair share of goals this season. I'd be happy with a player playing in that role to get to double figures for the season, and I think he's well on his way towards that. And it's now 3-2 because we've just given up any semblance of defending. Stockport are playing a narrow 4-3-3, and we just don't seem to be able to handle it. Believe it or not, they've always got a man over, and there he was in space. Bang. But we should be dominating the midfield in that circumstance, but I don't think we are. Do we go to... We haven't got enough strikers to do a 4-3-3 of our own. Is this where the diamond comes out? I mean, do you really need to take a kick-off with a back heel? That seems unnecessary. It's just showboat. He should get a yellow card for that. It's absolutely not necessary. They're only 3-2 up. We're near to each other in the league. They don't necessarily know how much we capitulated against Boston. So as far as they're concerned, this should still be a tight game. Now it's not. Now it's 4-2. And what's that? 9 goals we've conceded on this episode now? The defence is the problem. Is it the defence? Is it the goalkeeper? When we've seen what antics this keeper can get up to, should we be going out and trying to sign a keeper on loan? He's looking uninterested. Oh, you're looking uninterested, are you? You've conceded 9 goals in 15 minutes and you're uninterested in that. Well, you've kind of made my mind up there. We're going goalkeeper shopping. Well, goalkeeper loan perusing because we don't have any money to buy anyone with. Right, Yao head's clear. In fact, it's not clear at all and they're going to score here. Owens does well. And now Westcard just running all day long again. And Thorne intercepts a ball that I don't think was meant for him. And I wish he hadn't because it was so wasteful what he did with it. Why didn't he just keep on running? He had a full head of steam built up. He could have just ploughed through. He's supposed to be playing on the wing. But he just didn't. All right, Nixon can come on for Westcar. He's not had a good game. Owens has also had a really poor game. But we don't have anyone who can play left back who can come on for him. I feel like I've sighed a lot today. Bring Williams on because... And what's the point of bringing Williams on, actually? Let's just do our normal. Change at the midfield. Disley comes on. And get Jones to come on as well. And just see if they can get a hold of this midfield. We've conceded 9 goals. There's no point making changes to the defence. There's some Kev logic for you. But I just... changing the centre-backs isn't going to get us 3 goals so we can win this game. So there's no point in doing it with 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes to go, all we can hope for is we get a hold of that midfield and find a way to go and grab a couple of goals to get us back into the game. And who's injured? Marshall's injured. I don't have anything I can do about that. Let's just do this. So if we make Nixon a poacher in the middle, and these two can be target men either side of him, put him on defend, and we're just gonna go route 1. Don't know what else to do in this situation. We're chasing the game. Let's just lump the ball up to the 2 big men with the little poacher between them and see if we can steal a couple of goals. But we're not going to because it's not even going to give us a highlight. There is much work to do with this Alfreton team. And there's not really anything in the way of resources to do it. Oh, there you go. The route 1 almost worked, but Nixon just wasn't awake to it, which, if he's going to be the poacher between the 2 target men, he needs to kind of be awake to what's going on. Wheeler lumps it up again. Thorne wins a header down to Jones. Just kick it forward again. There you go, but no. Well, this didn't work, did it? Oh, Gary Jones is looking fired up. Ooh, goody. We're down to 10th in the league. We're now 8 points off the top because all that nonsense I was talking about it being tight, forget that now. We're in the little group that's falling behind and it's a fairly tight top 6 and now they're starting to pull away from the pack and we're in the wrong pack. Urgh! Kind of glad I get 2 days off of non-league to legend now because if you don't remember, just a little reminder again, we're only doing non-league to legend 4pm on weekdays this year, so in the 4pm slot over the weekend is going to be back in the Borough and an eat and save, and then non-league to legend is back on Monday. There'll be other stuff scattered around as usual. Just all you need to remember really, 4pm 9pm, they're the times you need to check the channel because there's always something exciting and new and football managery. at those times. If you've enjoyed this video, please make sure you give it a nice big thumbs up. It'll make me feel better. I've not enjoyed this video. Subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and thank you very much for watching.